Yo, what's up, guys? This is the test review. And on question number 1, we are asked which points are in the solution set for the given inequality, check all that apply. Well, the shading didn't come through on this graph, so we need to add the shading in. Now, since the function, or the inequality, since the inequality has a less than or equal to sign, I know that my shading will be below that solid line. So if your graph does not have the shading on it, please add the shading below the solid line. There we go. That tells me where my solution set is. Everything in the region that's shaded is a solution to that inequality. So which points are in the solution set? Well, let's see. Is 2, 4 in the solution set? And the answer is yes, it is. It's lying on a solid line, and lying on a solid line is okay, as long as it's not laying on a dashed line. That's bad. Laying on a solid line like that is okay, though. So let's put a check there for 2, 4. Up next is 0, 4. 0, 4 is not in a shaded region, so that doesn't get a check mark. -3, 1. -3, 1 is not in the shaded region, so that doesn't get a check mark. And -3, 0 is also not in the shaded region, so that won't get a check mark. But 0, 0 is our origin, and that is in the shaded region, so check, 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 check. And then -1, -4 would probably be down here somewhere, which would be in the shaded region. So that's what it's going to look like. If we're in the shaded region or on a solid line, it's all good. Number 2 says a local supermarket sells $3.49 per pound of chicken, and steak is $8.99 per pound. Todd buys C pounds of chicken. So our variable C represents pounds of chicken, and our variable S is going to represent pounds of steak. Which of the following inequalities represents that Jake only has at most $75 to spend? Well, he can buy a certain amount of chicken, which costs $3.49 per pound. So per means multiplication. So $3.49 times the amount of chicken he buys, plus $8.99 times the amount of steak he buys, and he has at most, which means he can spend exactly $75, or he could spend less than $75, but he can't go over $75. That's kind of hard to see. Let me rewrite that. $3.49 times the amount of chicken he buys, $8.99 times the amount of steak he buys, and he's got to stay under or exactly equal to his $75, because that's all he's got. So the inequality that matches that looks like it would be B. Very cool. Moving on. It says graph the linear inequality. Okay. Well, this is going to start at 2 on the y-axis. Remember, y equals mx plus b, all that good stuff. So our m is going to be -1, and our b is going to be a +2. So we're going to begin at +2, and we're going to move the m. We're going to move down 1 because it's a -1, and right 1. So down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Get some more points over on that side. And it's going to be a solid line because it has the or equal to. So remember, with a less than or equal to or a greater than or equal to, we're going to make a solid line. Okay? So this one has a greater than or equal to, so it's a solid line. Now, also, because it's a greater than, because the symbol has the greater than part, we're going to shade above. So shade the region above that line. There it is. So that tells me where the solutions are for that inequality. Cool. Up next, it says, is -4, 5 a solution to that inequality, and show your work. Now, what some of you guys did on the quiz was you graphed it, and then you showed me, hey, it's in the shaded area. You don't have to do all that. You could just say, hey, This is my x, this is my y. So I'll replace y with 5. I'll replace x with -4. And we'll see if it's a true statement or not. So I'll do a little bit of math. -1/2 times -4. So negative and a negative makes a positive. Half of 4 is 2. So this would say 5 is greater than or equal to 6. Is this true or false? Is 5 greater than or equal to 6? No, that's false. So is -4, 5 a solution? No. -4, 5 is not a solution. It doesn't mean that there's no solutions. It just means that that is not one of the solutions. All right, what number is this? 5. Select the inequality that is represented by the graph. Well, first of all, I see a solid line. So I'm going to get rid of anything that wouldn't be a solid line, like answer choice B. That would have been a dashed line. Get out of here, B. All right, and I also see that the shading is above the line. So I'm going to get rid of anyone that doesn't have the shading above the line. So these are all greater thans. So I don't get to get rid of anything. So now let's just make sure that the y-intercept is correct. The y-intercept is a -2. So it could be A, because the y-intercept is a -2. It could be D, because the y-intercept is a -2. C is out of here. So it's either A or D, and because our line has a positive slope from left to right, I know that the correct answer is A. D has a negative slope, so D would be going down from left to right. So can't be D. All right, guys, so that's part A of the test review. Make sure you check your answers and make sure you know your stuff. Go back through Canvas, go back through your notes. If there's something you need help with, come in before school tomorrow or during lunch. During both lunches, I can do tutoring. See ya.